Hey guys, today we are going to read a story and it is called Violet the Pilot. It says everyone in town knew that Violet Van Winkle was a little different. For starters, she and her parents lived in an odd-looking house next to the junkyard her father managed. And while other girls were playing with dolls and tea sets, Violet played with monkey wrenches and needle-nose pliers. Violet was a mechanical genius. By the time she was 2, she could fix almost any broken appliance in the house. By 4, she could take apart her grandfather's clock and completely reassemble it. Since she didn't have any friends aside from her dog, Orville, she would spend hours tinkering with things from the yard. Violet's parents were very proud of her, although they weren't too happy the time she put a lawnmower engine on her cousin's tricycle. The older she got, the more interesting Violet's creations became. Around the time she turned 8, she was building elaborate machines from scratch, and not just any old machines. Flying machines. Her parents couldn't believe their eyes when they saw Violet zoom by for the very first time. They were a little worried in the beginning, but they quickly saw that she was a pretty good pilot. "Careful not to hit the house," Violet's father would yell, and "put on a sweater," her mother would add. Violet used anything she could find in the junkyard to make her wonderful contraptions. There was a tub bubbler, and the bicycle copter, and the rocket can. The pogo plane, the slide glider, and the wingamajig, to name a few. Violet's engineering was pretty sound. The only real hazard were tall trees, piles of junk in the yard, and bugs in her teeth. Kids at school would see Violet eating lunch alone and make fun of her strange books and greasy overalls. Claude and Clyde Mulrooney were especially obnoxious. Then one day, Violet noticed a poster in the drugstore window. "Air Show, October 20th, it read. That's only 2 weeks away, Violet thought. Can kids fly in the show? Is homemade aircraft allowed? That night, Violet sat in her room thinking about the air show. She knew it would be a good feeling if one of her planes won a prize, and maybe then the kids at school would be nice to her. Violet pictured exactly where she would hang her blue ribbon. She and Orville spent the next few days combing the junkyard for just the right materials. When they had collected a giant pile of stuff, the building began. One day the Mulrooney twins happened to pass by. "Look, it's the girl from school," one of them said. "What are you doing, weirdo?" "I'm building an airplane," she told them. The twins exploded in laughter, then mumbled something mean as they walked away. Orville barked at the boys, but Violet just went back to her project. "Take it easy, buddy," she said. "We're too busy to worry about them." Finally, after days of hard work, Violet had finished making her flying machine. She named the magnificent new craft the Hornet. "Wait till the people in the grandstand see me flying this," Violet said to Orville. The test flight was a success. On the day of the big air show, Violet took off, bursting with excitement. Her parents' faces had beamed with pride when they wished her luck, and she thought about that as she flew through the clear autumn sky. She calculated that the trip would take about 20 minutes, and she would arrive just in time for the start of the show. Suddenly, something caught Violet's eye in the river below. A group of people were waving frantically. Violet lowered her altitude to get a better look. A troop of Boy Scouts had run into trouble while canoeing. Violet knew she had to help, and fast.